moment. Bitcoin is the greatest form of money to ever exist. In today's show, we're going to be discussing Bitcoin price reacting as 3.7% CPI sees an inflation jump beyond forecasts. And breaking news just in, U.S. Congressman Tom Emmer says CBDC is a surveillance tool that can be weaponized to oppress the American way of life. That's right, CBDC is slavery and Bitcoin is freedom. And quoting the high priest of Bitcoin, Max Kaiser, saving El Salvador and Argentina from the central banks by introducing a Bitcoin standard will ultimately help Americans who have the same problem of a free-falling currency, just delayed a bit. He also says it's not enough for a country to make Bitcoin legal tender. It must do also what El Salvador has done, erect impenetrable barriers of entry, stopping the ish coins. The citadel needs protection. This is the message we'll be taking to Argentina. Preach. Also in today's show, Coinbase founder Brian Armstrong reveals a plan to integrate the Bitcoin Lightning Network. Let's get it. Also in today's show, Gemini Earn users could recover all their funds in the new DCG remuneration scheme. We'll also be discussing Gary Gensler, the chairman of the SEC, confirms the SEC's use of artificial intelligence for financial surveillance. We'll also be discussing Bitcoin bull market well intact despite the recent correction, according to crypto analysts who called the May 2021 crypto crash. We're talking about Dave the Wave. We'll also be discussing Bitcoin payments app Strike expanding to more than 65 countries from 3, including Mexico, as well as Jack Mallers discussing the Bitcoin price beating hyperinflation and soaring to $1 million plus per coin. All this plus so much more in today's show. And welcome everyone just joining us. A quick reminder to smash that like button as it helps out tremendously with the YouTube algorithm. And if you're not already subscribed to the channel, smash that subscribe button and hit the bell icon to turn on notifications to receive daily premium crypto news alerts every single day, just like this. Also a quick reminder, we created a new channel, which is the Crypto News Alerts Clips channel, where I'm sharing daily Bitcoin clips and shorts taken from this Crypto News Alerts live stream. I greatly appreciate your support on the new channel. All you got to do is visit clips.cryptonewsalerts.net, hit the subscribe button, or simply click the link in the description right down below. How's everyone doing today? Did you know this is podcast episode number 1400, which is a major milestone? I'm your host, JV, and today is September 13th, 2023. Let's kick off today's show with our market watch as we do each and every day. Hallelujah. We're still in the green. 26,000's holding strong as we're currently trading at 165. We also have Ether, which just hit back above $1,600, and checking out coinmarketcap.com. As you can see right here, we're currently sitting just above that $1 trillion milestone with about 28 billion in volume in the past 24 hours, with the Bitcoin dominance on the rise at 49.1%, with the Ether dominance pretty stagnant at 18.5%. And checking out the top 100 crypto gainers of the past 24 hours, we got Compound up 6%, trading just under $40, followed by Thorchain up 5%, trading at $1.58, followed by Maker up 4%, trading at $1,160. And checking out the top 100 crypto gainers for the past week here on Crypto Bubbles, you can see the majority of the market is in the green, which we love to see. We have COS up 12.4%, along with Comp up 6.6%. And checking out the Crypto Greed and Fear Index, currently rated a 41, which is fear. Yesterday was as low as a 30, with last week a 42, and last month a 50, which is neutral. So there you have it. How many of you are taking advantage of this recent dip and dollar cost average in your position? Let me know. And it's going to be interesting to see what the Bitcoin price action does next. So let's dive right into our Bitcoin technical analysis without any further ado. And welcome to y'all just joining us. Make sure to say hello in that live chat, as I'll be reading everyone's comments out loud at the end of the show. So as you can see here in this chart, Bitcoin saw snap volatility on September 13th as U.S. macroeconomic data showed inflation beating expectations. That's right, which you can see here in the Bitcoin 1-hour candle chart. Now, data from Cointelegraph and TradingView followed Bitcoin price action as it threatened its fresh loss of that 26,000 level. The CPI print for August came in at 3.7% year on year, which is 0.1% higher, which then was forecasted. Quoting them here, the index for gasoline was the largest contributor to the monthly all items increase, accounting for over half of the increase as part of the official press release from the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics. They also say, also contributing to the August monthly increase was continued advancement in the shelter index, which rose for the 40th consecutive month. Now, earlier on the day, the crypto market participants had warned that a hot CPI reading would pressure the market, as it would imply that inflation remained more stubborn than many hoped for. This, in turn, could have implications for how restrictive economic policy remains in the future. And quoting Crypto Nuovo here, I think in the next CPI, we see 4% plus with the gasoline prices going up this fast. He also says inflation is still a problem, and a big problem in this second half of the year. Now, CPI was already a forecast to beat its July year-on-year figure, with August at 3.6% versus the previous 3.2%. And prior to the release, we had Keith Allen, the co-founder of Material Indicators, who was optimistic about the week's Bitcoin price momentum holding out. Quoting him here, the strength of Bitcoin momentum has faded a bit since yesterday, but so far it's still strong enough to hold on to most of what was reclaimed after the bounce. He also reiterated that lots of technical resistance remained above the current spot price range. This coming in the form of multiple daily moving averages. Now, with the Wall Street Open still to come, volatility was in play, with Bitcoin lacking a clear trend at the time of this being published. This accompanying snapshot, as you can see here, shows you the Bitcoin order book on the largest global exchange, Binance, showing only modest liquidity surrounding the spot price, with more bids currently parked at $25,000. So there you have it. How do you think this is likely to play out for the crypto market? Do you think 26 will hold strong and will continue marching upwards, onwards, or do you think we're likely to drop back down and retest that 25,000 critical support? Let me know your honest thoughts in the comments right down below. And now let's actually break down some of these tweets. Breaking news coming from Tom Emmer, U.S. Congressman. He says that CBDC, central bank digital currencies, is a surveillance tool that can be weaponized to oppress the American way of life, which he reveals in this new speech. I think he hit the nail on the head. We all know that as Bitcoiners, right? Because we know CBDCs are slavery by the central bankers, while Bitcoin is the antidote to that. That's why we say Bitcoin is freedom. And Max had some wise words to share as well. He wrote, saving El Salvador and Argentina from central banks by introducing a Bitcoin standard will ultimately help Americans who have the same problem of a free-falling currency, just delayed a bit. Preach. He also says it's not enough for a country to make Bitcoin a legal tender. It must also do what El Salvador has done, erect impenetrable barriers of entry, stopping all the ish coins. The Citadel needs protection, and this is the message we'll be taking to Argentina. So there you have it. Massive shout out to the high priest of Bitcoin, the one and only Max Keiser. Now let's discuss the Bitcoin Lightning Network, which is the layer 2, which makes Bitcoin transactions seamless, virtually instant, and for a fraction of the cost if you were to send it on the main network. Because guess what? Coinbase, the largest exchange in the United States, has been talking about this and entertaining the idea. And now we got some more insights regarding the plans coming directly from their CEO, Brian Armstrong. So let's break this down. And how many of you have used Coinbase before as a crypto exchange? Let me know in the chat. I appreciate it. Brian Armstrong has disclosed that the Lightning Network is coming to Coinbase. Well, let's freaking go. What are we waiting for? The news follows Armstrong being asked about the second layer tech on Twitter when the Block CEO Jack Dorsey questioned him, why do you continue to ignore Bitcoin and Lightning? I think that's a valid question. Now, what crypto is a better money transmission protocol and why? Dorsey asked. And at the time, Armstrong responded and noted that his firm was looking into adding the Lightning Network and further stressed that Coinbase is not ignoring Bitcoin. Here's what Brian Armstrong had to share in response. Not sure why you think we are ignoring Bitcoin. We have onboarded more people to Bitcoin than probably any company in the world. Now, on September 12th, which was yesterday, Armstrong explained that the Lightning Network was coming to Coinbase soon enough. Quoting him here, the team did a great job digging into this, and we have made the decision to integrate Lightning, he said on social platform X. He also said Bitcoin is the most important asset in crypto, and so we're excited to do our part to enable faster and cheaper Bitcoin transactions, which will take some time to integrate, so please be patient. I mean, you got all the money and the resources in the world. Does it really got to take that long? Just saying, just speaking out loud. At the same time, thinking out loud, the Lightning Network has been dealing with a great deal of criticism over the last few months. For instance, the Lightning Network is still considered beta software in 2023, and it's been out for more than 7 years. Can't make this stuff up, folks. Some people believe the Lightning Network will never scale, and some businesses have dropped support for the second layer altogether, which makes no sense to me. Despite the critiques, Lightning Network supporters believe that the second layer will be integral to scaling Bitcoin to the masses. In July of 2023 this year, the Lightning Network's capacity reached a new all-time high, but since then dropped more than 12% from the peak. So there you have it. How many of you have ever used the Bitcoin Lightning Network before? And don't you feel it's inevitable? All the major exchanges should be incorporating it. It would make the expenses and fees go down on the exchange if you're looking to move your crypto off the exchange and maybe onto a private wallet, etc. So to me, it only makes sense unless they want to keep the fees high to ultimately extract more money out of your pockets. What are your thoughts? And when do you feel that Coinbase will likely activate the Bitcoin second layer protocol we know as Lightning Network? Let me know your thoughts in the comments right down below. Now let's break down our next story of the day, and that's the latest coming from Gemini Earn and the digital currency group. How many of you were impacted as a result of the Gemini Earn program? As you know, there is a lawsuit currently going on. There's shenanigans with the SEC, and ultimately everyone got their funds frozen and lost out because the regulators seem to be targeting Earn programs, which is very unfortunate. But here's the latest of what's going on with this ongoing saga. Digital Currency Group, better known as DCG, proposed a new agreement plan for the creditors of the now bankrupt Genesis Global that would also see the Gemini Earn users recover nearly all of their claims. So in a new filing, September 13th, which is today, DCG outlined the plan that estimates unsecured creditors a 70 to 90% recovery, with a meaningful portion of the recovery in digital currencies. And in addition, the remuneration plan says the recovery of claims for Gemini Earn users would be projected at approximately 95 to 110% without any contribution from Gemini. Here's what the firm stated in their most recent filing. If Gemini were to agree to provide $100 million to the Gemini Earn users under the proposed agreement, as it previously did, there would be little doubt that Gemini Earn users would receive more than full recovery. I mean, more than full recovery sounds fantastic. Send it, right? Gemini Earn was a service implemented by the crypto exchange Gemini, which is backed by the Winklevoss twins. They're the owners. With financing from Genesis, users were then affected by Genesis's bankruptcy protection filing and withdrawal freeze. Genesis's initial bankruptcy filing occurred in January of this year after the withdrawal suspension, which had a domino effect of a massive liquidity crisis back in November of 2022. And reportedly, the company owed over $3.5 million to its creditors, which included Gemini. It is the second agreement in principle submitted to the case. The previous proposal from DCG filed on August 29th offered the DCG equity, and a day after the first proposal was submitted, the Genesis lenders called the agreement wholly insufficient. In an update, the lenders claimed that the debtors, along with Genesis unsecured creditors, are unwilling to comply with their fiduciary obligations to maximize creditor recoveries. A week later, Genesis opened a lawsuit against its parent company, DCG, and its other affiliate, DCG Investments, on September 6th for defaulted loans worth around $600 million. Now, we all know Barry Silbert is at the head of DCG and Genesis and also the owner of the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust product, which currently custodies over 600,000 BTC. So keep that in mind too, fam. On September 5th, Genesis Global Trading announced its plans to eliminate its crypto spot trading services starting from September 18th. So how do you feel this is likely to play out for the investors? Do you think they'll receive all or maybe even more than all of their funds back? Let me know your honest thoughts in the comments right down below. I just hope they make the right decisions and do what benefits the investors the most, not what benefits the SEC or the regulators or the exchanges at the end of the day. And with that being shared, welcome to y'all just joining in. What's new? What's popping? What's good chat? What are you most looking forward to in crypto this week? As we're already halfway through the week, it is hump day after all. Wednesday, fam. Let's now dive into our latest regarding Gary Gensler, the chairman of the SEC, along with him using artificial intelligence for surveillance agreements, which is, I don't know how I feel about this. So let's break it down. United States SEC, Mr. Gensler testified yesterday, September 12th, in a Senate oversight hearing that his agency was currently using artificial intelligence technologies to monitoring the financial sector for signs of fraud and manipulation. Gensler gave a public speech before the National Press Club on July 17th, which I'm sure many of you watched. And he laid out the case for integrating AI tech into the SEC surveillance scheme. But until now, the agency's explicit use of the tech hadn't been made public knowledge. When asked by Senator Catherine Cortez Masto how he envisioned the SEC using AI, here's what Mr. Gensler had to share. So we already do in some market surveillance and enforcement actions to look for patterns in the market. It's one of the reasons why we've asked Congress for greater funding this year in 2024 to help build our technology budget for the emerging technologies. Now, while it shouldn't come as a surprise to note that the SEC is utilizing AI tech during the normal course of its operations, it is somewhat surprising that the agency hasn't issued a formal public declaration detailing its use. However, it's worth noting that aside from the requirement to report cybersecurity incidents signed into law by Mr. President Biden, I hate even saying this guy's name, in March of 2022, there don't appear to be any legal requirements in the U.S. for agencies to publicly report the internal use of new tech. And based on the description given by Gensler himself, it's unclear exactly what form of AI the agency is using. However, the SEC filed numerous analysis reports on the use of AI and algorithmic trading by actors within financial markets. It would make sense for the agency to similarly employ machine learning algorithms capable of parsing large amounts of information for, autonomous data. So there you have it, fam. What are your thoughts surrounding the SEC using AI to, run their, monitoring, oversighting scheme as Crypto Choke Point 2.0 continues? Let me know your honest thoughts, fam. I already know how I feel. I'm not a huge fan of crypto regulation because I feel the regulators, they claim to have the investors' best interests at heart, but I think they have their, central bankers and the people behind them that put them in power is best financial interest at heart. And to me, it couldn't be any more clear. But let me know what you think, chat, and I'll be reading your comments out loud towards the end of the show. Now let's discuss that the Bitcoin bull market is still intact, according to top crypto analyst Dave the Wave. Then we'll be discussing the latest regarding Bitcoin payment app service Strike, as well as their CEO Jack Mallers forecasting $1 million plus Bitcoin price action. Then we'll dip into our live Q&A. But first, let's discuss the crypto market still being intact. Popular analyst says the Bitcoin path towards a massive bull cycle remains intact despite the current market correction. Synonymous analyst Dave the Wave tells his followers on X the Bitcoin appears to be in the midst of a consolidation period after rallying by about 100% from its November 2022 bottom. That's right. I believe the bottom is in at roughly 15,700, chat. The trader also says that the widely or weekly logarithmic moving average convergence divergence, known as the LMACD indicator, is still above the zero line, which had historically acted as a support for BTC. The LMACD indicator is designed to signal chases in an asset's trend, strength, and momentum. Typically, an asset is seen as bullish once it crosses this LMACD zero line. Quoting the analyst here, technically, not panic stations, but plain sailing. Number one, a consolidation of this year's move up. Number two, this year's move up near as long as the move down from the peak to low hodling. And number three, weekly LMACD consolidating to the zero line, still in the buy zone for investors as outlined here in this chart. And according to the trader, the indicators are not changing the broader case for a bull cycle, even though the market sentiment appears to have been flipping bearish. Quoting him again, you can listen to the scaremongers who play on the popular sentiment, or you can keep your eye on the rational technicals. I much rather keep my eye on the prize, which is the rational technicals personally. But what are your thoughts, chat? The analyst also says that the current Bitcoin correction is nothing out of the ordinary, considering Bitcoin's strong rally earlier in the year. Quoting him again, if people stop to consider that the Bitcoin price retraced a full 50% of its decline from the peak, then they wouldn't be too surprised to see consolidation here. He makes a great point because the all-time high is 69,000 and currently we're sitting just above 26,000. So looking at this chart, which you can see here on your screen, he appears to predict that the current correction can push the Bitcoin to the 50% Fibonacci level, which is around $23,000, which is 3,000 south from the current price action. The trader previously predicted that the King Crypto will revisit its all-time high at around 69,000 sometime next year, followed by a deep corrective move to below 59 Gs. So he's saying in 2024, expect Bitcoin to break out to a new all-time high, then to retest and go back down to 50,000. What are your thoughts, fam? Let me know if you agree or disagree with the crypto analyst, Dave the Wave. I personally feel that the Bitcoin price is likely to break out to a new all-time high sometime in 2024 as well. And I think by 2025, we reach the cycle peak for this particular new bull cycle, which I'm anticipating a multiple six-figure price action. But what's your thoughts, chat? Let me know your predictions. I'll be reading them out loud here in just a little bit. Now let's discuss the latest and greatest coming from Jack Mallers, the Strike CEO, along with his $1 million Bitcoin price prediction. This was news a few months back when Bitcoin payments app Strike expanded to more than 65 countries from just 3, helping to usher in mass adoption. That's right, the Strike app, as we know, uses the Bitcoin Lightning Network, a secondary network for cheaper and faster Bitcoin transactions to offer global payments and cross-border money transfer services. The app now sports a brand new user interface. How many of you are currently using Strike, fam? Let me know. Strike says the expansion will increase its total addressable market to almost 3 billion people. That's like roughly half the population of the entire world. So that's a pretty big deal. Massive kudos to Jack Mallers for doing this. Quoting them here, our end goal is to address the 7 to 8 billion people in every single country, said Manuela Rios, Strike's vice president of the product, in a new interview. Rios says the app's user new interface will feature a seamless onboarding experience, something she said the company has been working on for years. Quoting her again, if you're in the United States, the apps are gorgeous. There is a really high bar for their design. But unfortunately, that's not the case when you download the apps abroad. So just FYI. And then a little bit later, maybe a month or two later, they expanded their Send Globally payment service to Mexico. Now, anyone in Mexico tuned into the show, let me know. I got a lot of love from Mexico. That's right, Strike, a money app for fast, safe payments, and Bitcoin announced the expansion of Send Globally to Mexico, bringing its revolutionary payment services to the largest market for remittances from the United States. Check this out. Mexico received a record $60 billion in remittances from the U.S. alone, making up around 95% of total remittances abroad. Sending a payment from the U.S. to Mexico cost an average of 4.5% of the transaction value. That is absolutely ludicrous. So can you see this as a disruption technology? 100%. Quoting them here, cross-border payments from the U.S. to Mexico have reached where'd we go here? I got lost here on the site. Okay, here we are. Okay. From Mexico reached unprecedented levels, serving as a lifeline for millions of people, said Jack Mallers. However, existing payment services are costly and ineffective and inefficient, making them inaccessible to many. At Strike, everyone should have access to better payments and financial stability. We're excited to bring fast, low-cost cross-border payments via the Lightning Network to Mexico, enabling more people to send more money home. So when using Send Globally, the dollars are converted, here's how it works, into Bitcoin and sent via the Lightning Network to a third-party partner. That partner converts the Bitcoin into the local currency, sent directly to the recipient's local account, such as their bank account. Now in Mexico, Strike partnered with Relampago to enable the transfers from US dollars received as local currency directly into a recipient's bank account. Quoting them here, Relampago is a proud partner with Strike to revolutionize money transfers from the U.S. to Mexico, the world's largest cross-border payments corridor, he said. And by harnessing the Lightning Network, we enable instant, low-cost cross-border payments that are transforming the financial landscape for millions of Latin America and individuals. And since launching the feature in December of last year, Strike quickly expanded Send Globally to over a dozen countries, and now I believe it's over 30 countries, including the Philippines, Vietnam, Nigeria, and now Mexico, amongst the top 10 largest cross-border markets. So there you have it. Real talk, fam. If you have the option to use an app, which is available on anyone's smartphone, and you can send and receive funds virtually for free instantaneously using Bitcoin, the monetary network, and any currency, send, receive, or swap, etc., without any downside, would you choose that? Or would you want to use Western Union or MoneyGram and go pay 20% to send some funds back to your friends or family? It makes no sense to latter, and that's why this disruptive technology with Bitcoin and Lightning Network will continue to take over the world. It's only a matter of time. Now we discussed the tech. Now let's dive more deeper into Jack Mallers' $1 million price prediction and break this down, shall we? Now, he did an interview and he discussed Bitcoin beating hyperinflation. Speaking on CNBC's Power Lunch with Kelly Evans, the Strike CEO discussed the role of Bitcoin in the ongoing banking crisis. And Mahler says he is convinced the Bitcoin price will hit $1 million plus, fueled by global hyperinflation. Moreover, Mahler's reiterated the fact that there would only be 21 million Bitcoins despite the increased demand. And I actually transcribed this interview. I'm going to be reading it to you for a moment, but I also want to quote him here. My overall opinion is that the name of the game is to accumulate as much Bitcoin as possible. The altcoins are interesting, but a lot more speculative. I use them to accumulate more BTC. And now for the transcribe I did myself the transcription from that interview. Here's what Jack Mallers had to say. Very powerful words. Check it out. If silver is gonna 1000x, I will walk into my kitchen right now and I will melt all my silverware and I will sell it at market. And if gold is gonna rally, Elon Musk will find more on Mars. This is a super important point. Bitcoin is the only monetary instrument in the history of our species that is fixed. Facts. It does not matter how much more demand comes into the asset class. No one will ever be able to make more of it. There are two things that I can guarantee you in my life. Number one, that I'll die. And number two, there will only ever be 21 million Bitcoin. And those are the two things that I could only value. It's my life and my Bitcoin. So it is the only fixed supply asset. It's not that complicated. It's going to go up because everything else can be issued more. Preach. The only thing that is clear to us and clear to our customers is that you cannot hold and save in dollars anymore. Tell them. I think there is going to be a new era of the US dollar where inflation will enter and normalize 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10%. The days of 2% in inflation are over. The Fed really blew this thing up. I mean, he's preaching facts here, fam. You can call it inflation because the CPI is a load of nonsense, right? Like the government is going to tell me how the dollar is inflating based on a basket of instruments like my Netflix subscription or my Caesar salad doesn't actually tell me how well the dollar is doing or how much is being devalued. Miami real estate does. Bitcoin does. Bitcoin is up over 50% this year. You're telling me the dollar isn't inflating? You're out of your mind. I am not listening to that. The Fed and the whole monetary system is based on trust, and they constantly break that trust. It would be the equivalent to there is a fire outside of my house. I smell the smoke, and someone tells me, no, it's just a bunch of teenagers putting on a bonfire. Okay, but I hear a police siren. Are you sure it's a bonfire? Yeah, it's a bonfire. Now I hear 10 sirens, then 100 sirens. Now my whole community is running outside. I'm not going to get up and look outside the window and see what's going on. I don't believe them for a second. You have to be absolutely crazy to believe the Federal Reserve right now. They are full of it, and I don't have to because I own Bitcoin. There is no one that can deflate my instrument. I get to hold it, saving it. I know the monetary policy, and I sleep like a baby, like the baby face that I am. I think you are crazy to believe the Fed in these swap lines and treating these assets at par. It is a gimmick. It is a scam. So there you have it. Very powerful words coming from the Strike CEO, Jack Mallers. Let me know if you agree or disagree with the fearless leader in the comments right down below, which takes us to our next segment of the show, which is our live Q&A. Massive shout out to everyone in that live chat today. Again, this is episode number 1400. I've been doing this pretty damn consistently, to say the least. So if you gain value out of today's show, it's very important. Smash the like button. It helps out tremendously with the YouTube algorithm, and I need all the support I can get, just being honest. And also, don't forget to smash that subscribe button and hit the bell icon to make sure you got notifications turned on to receive daily crypto news alerts every single freaking day. Just like this. I don't sleep. I am on my grind 24/7. So please help support the movement. I greatly appreciate all the support. Nostalgic, welcome. Crypto Quad. Courageous, what up? Hodl Mike 73, Duckman in the building. Jack Jiong, what up? Nate Coin Father, Mr. Still Stacking, Andy Surfer. That's what's up. Good to see the fam. J-Dub the Laker 21 mil, Punchy Coffee 20. What is good? Bitcoin Maximus, Digital Dankness. Shout out to the mods doing a fantastic job as they always do. LFC Liverpool Film Club in the building. Shout out to Tony Jeffries. Shout out to Boz Dragon. I'm gonna start reading everyone's comments out loud. Let's freaking go. That's right. You want to become a whole coiner, you start stacking your stats as soon as possible. When's the best time to start accumulating Bitcoin? Maybe a bit of a trick question. Yesterday, that was the best time. So don't sit on the sidelines forever, as I know some of you are. You're just anticipating a new all-time low for the cycle, and there is also the possibility we don't return back to that low and we continue going upwards and north for the rest of the year. One of the best channels around, says Jason Bitmarch. I usually watch late at night. Keep up the amazing work, JV. By the way, we have the same birthday on February 11th. That's amazing. So I was born February 11th, 1983. This dude was born February 11th, 1973. So you got a decade on me, but how cool is that? We share the same birthday. Much love and respect. Also, my daughter, who's 9 years old, she shares the same exact birthday as us as well. So what are the odds of that? Isn't that wild, fam? He gets a lot in. That's right, Ronald. I try to compress 2 hours worth of the most Important, relevant information in crypto every day, all into a 20-minute segment, which virtually the show's 20 to 30 minutes before we start the live Q&A. So job done. Good evening, fam. Shout out to Boz Dragon. Appreciate you tuning in. This is my favorite stream on Bitcoin and crypto, says Michael Volkman. That means a lot to me. Welcome, Ashley. Appreciate you tuning in. As I've been seeing you as a regular here on the channel, means a lot. Robert Brady, let's freaking go. Party time, says Knoxville. You already know. We got to celebrate all the big milestones. Again, pod number 1400. How many other Bitcoin podcasts can say they just reached episode 1400? I don't know of any others. Just saying. Maybe the Kaiser Report had more than 1,400 episodes, but there's not many out there. Just keeping it real. Also, I invite everyone, if you want to plug into the crypto fam with crypto news alerts and connect with like-minded Bitcoiners, go join our Discord. It's discord.cryptonewsalerts.net. We have many channels available to you on there. Our general one where we can chat about whatever. You can connect with fellow Bitcoiners. And we also have our Ask a Question channel, which reminds me there was a great question asked in here just recently, which I'm going to repeat. If a Bitcoin spot gets approved, could the options contracts be issued for it? Crypto options are hard to come by for traders in the United States, so I imagine that could be a game changer. I would imagine so, but I'm not an expert when it comes to options because I have no personal experience there. But I would assume there's always going to be options contracts available on everything, which virtually means people betting on or against something, or maybe potentially trading with leverage. There's also always going to exist leverage derivative platforms, which currently exist as well. So I don't see a spot ETF changing that. I see the spot ETF virtually ushering in trillions of dollars directly into the Bitcoin market. Right now, the Bitcoin market cap is like $500 billion, which is virtually nothing. It's a very nascent market. We're just getting started, fam. That's $500 billion. That's just a drop in the bucket when you compare it to the total addressable market, which is currently north of $700 trillion. Just the top asset managers in the world, you know, the BlackRocks, the Fidelity, they probably control over 20 trillion just alone. BlackRock alone is a $10 trillion asset manager, and that's larger than many of the GDPs of countries across the world. The only ones with GDPs bigger than BlackRock are like the United States, probably, I would imagine. China and India. Are there any other countries? Probably not. So things are really going to start to heat up. As I mentioned previous episodes, the two biggest catalysts for Bitcoin right now, number one, spot Bitcoin ETF approval, which can only get pushed back and delayed for so long. There's a 95% chance it gets approved by next year, according to the top ETF experts in the world coming from Bloomberg. And there's still a 75% chance they get approved this year in October, which is the next deadline. But if I was a betting man, in which I am not, I would bet that Gary more than likely pushes it back again once October rolls around, which is right around the corner. And then the spot Bitcoin ETF approval will be inevitable in 2024. And I think it'll be a domino effect with many of them being approved at around the same time. But what are your thoughts, fam? Please do let me know. A good question here. Watching live from Washington State. Appreciate your daily dedication to bringing the facts. You're welcome, Yo-Yo. Appreciate you. Crypto Locks is anticipating a 23,000 Bitcoin. Thanks for letting us know. We will revisit 13,000 in euros. Well, euros are practically the same as dollars. So anyone else anticipating Bitcoin hitting a new cycle low of 13 grand? I'm just going to throw it out there. I think that is highly improbable, but anything is possible. It's good to be prepared for all scenarios. It would be obviously a great opportunity to stack some more sats before, you know, the halving next year, which is the other bullish catalyst, roughly 6 months out, scheduled to take place sometime in April of 2024. Mr. Still Stacking, yeah, I use the Lightning Network quite a bit. Lately, I've been using Mutiny Wallet, which works pretty good and is self-custody. Good to note. Thanks for sharing. Tony Jeffrey says it still costs to send money from Lightning to cold wallets. I sent 10 pounds from a wallet of Satoshi to a cold wallet. Only 9 pounds arrive. That's a 10% charge. That's not free. Something's wrong there. If you're using Lightning, you shouldn't be charged 10%. Also, verify the fee amount before you send any crypto, because you got to confirm it on your device or whatever you're using. It shouldn't be a mystery what the fee amount is. They have to basically tell you what that is beforehand to make sure of it. Every day is hump day, says CJ Word. Whale watching Wednesday. I like that better. Moreover, is it safe to send large amounts from the exchange to Lightning? Does it still cost to them? I have heard rumors where if you're sending large amounts, maybe Lightning is not in your best interest, but again, I don't have any knowledge with that. I've never moved large amounts of crypto over the Lightning Network, so I don't know, but it is a great question. If anyone has an answer to that, let us know. I have not used Lightning yet, says Volkman. For me, moving Bitcoin from where I purchased it to my cold wallet has not been important yet. Word. Every transfer has a fee to pay the miners to hash the transaction. Makes sense, dankness. I do have a Gemini account, but I only use it from time to time, says Mr. Sostakin, to convert some crypto for fiat, but I have never used a Gemini Earn product. Glad to have avoided that rug pull. Yeah, thank God for that, right? JVC says, if this is a quote unquote show, geez, bring some actual news that's relevant and not a repeat from months or years ago. Well, that's a relevant comment. I'm glad you mentioned it, Jay, but just keeping it real, 90% of what I shared is all breaking news and breaking stories. Yeah, I shared some throwbacks that are a few months old regarding the Strike application for Bitcoin payments and Jack Mallers' $1 million price prediction, but it's still relevant. Nothing changed. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. I appreciate you tuning in and supporting the show regardless, and I do value your feedback. So thank you. Thank you for sharing. If there's anything else that I should be concerned about, let me know. I'm happy to, read criticism and feedback. Dankness says if you actually pay attention to the show, he does give news daily and a price prediction, but you won't. How about you try to do a daily crypto podcast? That's what I can come to ignorantly belittle. I appreciate you sticking up for me, Dankness. It's all good. I mean, to each their own. Everyone wants something different. I can't satisfy 100 out of 100 people. We satisfy 98 to 99% of the people on the channel. I know that because I can see in my analytics, 98 to 99%, meaning 98 or 99 out of every 100 people give me the thumbs up on the channel. So I'm going to assume I'm doing a great job. If that changes and maybe 15, 20% of the people start putting a thumbs down, I think then it would be a call or a concern to maybe switch things up a bit. But if 99% of the people are loving it, you can't satisfy everyone. You know what I mean? Regardless if it's the greatest show on the planet, you're going to have a hater. In fact, probably the bigger the show becomes, the more haters will attract. It's just the nature of the beast, and I am fully aware of that, and I'm okay with that. I accept it. It's all good. Nate, I'm welcoming learning more in the pros and cons of Strike on Bitcoin blockchain versus XRP. When it comes to large payments, basically a Bitcoin versus an altcoin discussion. Word up. Is it a best idea to get your own mentor or coach to join the cryptocurrency trading or avoid losing your capital? Says El and Ita, if I'm pronouncing your name correctly. I'd recommend avoiding cryptocurrency coaches because more than likely they're going to be there to try to steal your crypto. Just throwing it out there. The individuals in crypto, it's just too easy for scammers to scam you in crypto. That's why virtually everyone I know in crypto, including my own family, have been scammed, including myself. We're all going to get scammed. You got to learn from that lesson and trust nobody and verify everything. Everyone is looking to steal your crypto. Guaranteed, right? Everyone. That goes for everyone. Trust nobody, verify everything. So if you're looking to learn the ropes of crypto trading, I wouldn't be seeking a mentor because 99% of the people who do crypto trading get wrecked. And including the mentors selling the courses. They're making their money selling the courses. They're making the money off of you, right? Crypto trading is very dangerous. It's like being a professional gambler at a casino. Most of those professional gamblers, whether a poker player, blackjack, baccarat, whatever the deal, are going to be losers. It's player versus player. In order for someone to win, there has to be a loser. You know who the biggest winner is? The exchanges and the market makers. Just keeping it real, fam. Let me know if you guys can relate to that. Just trying to keep it as honest and 100 as possible. Have you experimented with different Lightning wallets? Wallet of Satoshi may be a little pricey for sending on chain, but I am sure there are others that are cheaper, says Mr. Still Stacking. 10% is pricey for something that is basically promoted as free. Facts. I mean, it shouldn't be 10%. Something wrong there. Yes, I use Strike. It worked quite well for me, says Mr. Still Stacking. I use it to purchase sats, withdrawing to cold storage, and occasionally for Lightning payments. Anyone else coming to LA from Crypto News Alerts fam? We got to have a lunch and drinks. Word up. If anyone is in the LA area of California, reach out to JW the Laker 21 Mil and connect. Who knows? You guys may be able to meet up and do something really cool. And I mean, that's what this community is all about. We also have a meetup channel exclusively in the Crypto News Alerts Discord server. So if anyone wants to meet up, like realistically, I highly encourage you to download the Discord at discord.cryptonewsalerts.net and let's set that up. Also, there is a 100K Fiesta party that's going to be taking place in Puerto Rico once the Bitcoin price action surpasses that six-figure milestone, which we all know is inevitable. And I'm calculating that happening sometime next year in 2024. So join that channel if you plan on joining us in Puerto Rico, and we can start discussing it and meeting up and all that good stuff. You know what I mean? Because that's what this is all about. This is not just a news channel. This is more than that. This is a community of like-minded Bitcoiners for us to connect with, grow with, learn from, and uplift one another. It's a brotherhood, and sisters are invited as well. I've never paid more than a few cents for a Lightning to Lightning transaction. Well, it sounds like you're doing it right, Mr. Still Stacking. Coinfather says, JNub, no, all my friends and coworkers from Mexico are the hardest working. They are the ones I could rely getting a job done right and early. Yeah, I have a lot of respect for Mexicans and Mexico as a whole as well. The internet revolution through Bitcoin is now hitting the financial services industry worldwide, and that industry, especially here in the US, is fighting back better if they embraced innovation, says Nate. Preach, 100%. Gas here in Los Angeles at even Costco is $5.29 a gallon. I remember when I first got my car, it was a piece of crap. I had to save up for it working McDonald's. It was like a Geo Metro. I think I paid $1,500 cash for it. I remember gasoline. I remember it being like 99 cents a gallon. You guys remember those days? I can't believe gas is $5 a gallon. That's just insanity. When 2,959? Never. We're never going to revisit $3,000 Bitcoin price ever again, Duckman, and I'm sticking to it. That industry at the government's level especially is fighting back, but some are embracing the innovation and they'll win, says Nate. Nostalgic agrees 100%. COSPA is the future, says Crypto Quad. I guess that's an altcoin I'm just not familiar with. Nate, if you look at the richest families from 100 years ago versus the richest families, not almost all of them are 100 years ago are gone from the list of the richest. That's right. And the future rich list is going to be all crypto folk, especially Bitcoiners, 100%. The first trillionaire in the world, I think, will be a Bitcoiner. It could be CZ if he doesn't face more legal issues from the SEC and end up in jail, right? He's the largest hodler of crypto in the world. You have Michael Saylor's company, MicroStrategy, that currently hold over 152,000 Bitcoin on their balance sheet. We also have Grayscale, which has their custodian over 600,000 BTC, making them the largest product in the world to hold onto Bitcoin. And that doesn't even consider the countries around the world that will start putting it on their balance sheet. That's not considering El Salvador and all the future countries as well. So keep that in mind. LFC Liverpool Film Club, that may be true for the Lightning to on-chain, but Lightning to Lightning, I found it to be pretty cheap. So that's maybe the key. Maybe you got to send Lightning to Lightning to have it that cheap. That's a good point. 1,400, tenacious effort every day. Great job. Yeah, I can't believe this is pod number 1,400. I think that's roughly 4 years of day-to-day episodes, 7 days a week. I mean, you just don't land upon 1,400 without putting in the hard work, right? Doesn't TransferWise already undercut Strike? They've managed to make remittances almost free. Am I mistaken? Good to note. I'm not familiar with them personally, Violin Jedi, and I love your username, by the way. Good stuff. Yep, CPI can't come down much anymore when we have high energy costs, the higher wages, and they both will continue to keep going up, says CoinFather. Shout out to Jack Mallers. He switched on as what? That's right. I mean, this come from Maximus. I think Jack Mallers is one of the greatest young pioneers in Bitcoin, doing big things, and I greatly appreciate what he's doing for Bitcoin and crypto adoption, as well as for the Bitcoin Lightning Network. Crypto Quad, you're beating around the bush, talking to general, bro. Just do something KAS and understand its geniusness. So is that a crypto? Anyone else familiar with KAS and its brilliance? Let me know. I'm obviously missing something. What's up, Clearwater? Shout out to DCA Bitcoin No Alts. That's my old stomping ground in Florida. I'm getting so many of my peeps and family into Bitcoin, says Nostalgic. Congratulations, you're doing God's work. Prepare them now, as Bitcoin is the antidote to the CBDCs. I truly believe that. God is with you, bruh. Great channel. Thank you, Duckman. All praise to God. I greatly appreciate everyone's, prayers and support. And I also want to give everyone that energy right back at you. May God bless each and every one of you. Yeah, smash that like. Thank you, Michael Volkman. Point confirmed. So glad to hear that, my man. Word up. Smashed potatoes. Thank you for those smashed potatoes. It means a lot, especially with the YouTube algorithm. Hi, late from Holland, says Barry Linder. Thank you for tuning in, Barry. How much Bitcoin do you need? I say more than 0% to the family with not much, but if they can afford, start with 2% of your monthly monthly retirement account. Word up. Options are commonly available in the ETFs, just not the tradable trusts such as GBTC or ETH. HE. Well, ETH-E. Thank you for sharing that, Nate. They are different. Good to note. Just don't know how quickly until the options would become available in the spot Bitcoin ETF. That's a question of when, not if. Good point. Crypto Cowboy, welcome. Let's freaking go. What's up, Digital Maniac? Appreciate you, fam. Duckman says Bitcoin to 250,000. Well, full send it already and let's go. Why are we sitting here at 26K? Send it, folks. How can we send it? Smash the like, subscribe to the channel. More people will learn about the show. More people will be excited about Bitcoin, and the faster we get to 250,000 per coin. Just saying. My outlook, Bitcoin spot ETF launches around the 2024 halving. The Bitcoin bull run ends in Q2 or Q3. Wow. Wouldn't that be something? The bull run ending in the same year as the halving versus going to the year preceding the halving as the previous cycles have done? That'd be interesting. Where's your overall peak prediction for Bitcoin, Coinfather, if we do see the all-time high for the cycle in 2024? I'd love to know your thoughts. Cryptic Sniper, good day, JV. Good day, my fam. Every day is hump day. Tell that to my girlfriend. You wish. Q2 and Q3, correct, Digital Maniac. We made it to the end of the bear. Pat yourselves on the back. The near term is bullish. That's right. Sometimes you just got to dust your shoulders off. We made it this far. We survived the collapse of Luna. We survived the collapse of FTX and all the other shenanigans we've seen go under over the past couple of years since the contagious negative bear market has captured, you know what I mean, the hearts of many in the crypto sphere. The freezing cold winter is about to be over, fam. You already know. Always the best news, JV. The top. Thank you, Barry. It means a lot. With Franklin Templeton being the latest institutional fund manager to apply for spot Bitcoin ETF, firms are awaiting approval now that have managed of 16.5 trillion. Let's freaking go. That's right. That was breaking news shared on yesterday's episode. Another major asset manager, Franklin Templeton, they control over 1.5 trillion in assets under management, and they just submitted their application for a spot Bitcoin ETF in the United States to the SEC. So another one bites the dust. And another one. Yeah, let's go. I just want a ton of money, enough to pay for everything the bank owns, the house, the car, etc. Then let me create my own mess. That's not asking for too much. Body, I appreciate you tuning in. Body Delight. You are doing great, JV. Thank you, Tony. It means a lot. JV, I am sat as fied. Pun intended. Thank you, Coinfather. JV, you do the best, bro. Thank you. Thank you, Brody. Appreciate that. 16.5 trillion or more, I mean. Well, let's freaking go. If you ain't got haters, you have work to do. Facts, fam. You already know. A statue was never erected to a critic. You're doing great, JV. Thank you, fam. I appreciate that. I do not trade. I hodl. Same here, Volkman. I am not a gambler, degenerate / trader. I'm a hodler as well. Much respect. Real recognize real. It is what it is. Haters are secretly mad they're not on your level. Probably. I want to send them love and support regardless. God bless all my haters. You know what I mean? Bitcoin 150,000 by July of 2024 after the ETF approval. Send it, Crypto Cowboy. Let's get it. We're all satisfied, JV. That's what she said. Michael Scott. That's hilarious. Thanks, Body Delight. Cat Williams has a good skit about hate. I love me some Cat Williams. I saw and met Cat Williams. I love comedy shows. I saw Cat Williams perform in Tampa. At the university. I also saw Dave Chappelle perform in Clearwater, Florida. One of the highlights of my life, you know, besides the birth of my daughter. It was fantastic, amazing. Maybe sometime I'll tell you more about it. Best route for mentoring in Bitcoin is to make friends at local meetups. There you go. People who genuinely have your best interest at heart. If you're just seeking somebody, you're going to get a scammer try to scam you. I guarantee it. Make some relationships, genuine relationships, people you can genuinely trust. Then, you know what I mean? Even then, take what they say with a grain of salt. Just saying. Electrum is my favorite. Michael, keep trading fiat for Bitcoin and then never traded back. Have you ever reviewed Arthur Hayes' latest report? Yeah, I think Arthur Hayes is amazing. He's also just as bullish as Cathie Wood and the rest of them as he should be. He gets it. He's a crypto billionaire, very smart man. He is the co-founder of one of the old derivative largest exchanges in the world as well. So he knows a thing about a thing or two. Liverpool meetup September 21st in September. Hope Street. That's what's up. Let's go. Everyone in Liverpool, reach out to LFC Liverpool Film Club. His name is Tony Jeffries. They're doing some meetups over there as well. And again, don't forget to join the meetups channel on our Discord server. Hayes had interesting take on the bull run, confluences, liquidity, or tech breakthrough. He suspects both will be the force for the next bull run. That's right. Same as Kathy Wood. She's predicting the AI growth and Bitcoin becoming the native currency of AI. And there's all these bullish factors that will send the Bitcoin price $1 million and above by the year 2030. Before your party, work with some of those beautiful Puerto Rican ladies to create a Bitcoin shuffle dance or line dance, a fun one that everyone can learn and do it there and spread it globally. I love that. I'm in agreement. I think we should create the 100,000 Bitcoin shuffle. Why not? And then we all do the 100,000 Bitcoin shuffle. We go viral. The whole world sees it. It gets, even Tucker Carlson's talking about it with his audience of 100 million viewers. Let's freaking go. Because everyone's going to want to join in and not miss the next party. Fuel is about $10 a gallon in the UK. Good Lord. $10 a gallon. Christ's sake. Is Ether the best one to buy if I can't afford Bitcoins? Let me correct that, Ant Cramp. Everyone can afford to purchase a portion of a Bitcoin. One Bitcoin can be divided by 100 million Satoshis. So using the Strike app, which we've been discussing, you can purchase $5 worth of Bitcoin. So everyone can afford a portion of a Bitcoin. I think a portion or a fraction of the most perfect form of money that is incorruptible, unconfiscatable, borderless, just perfect money overall with a finite limited supply is going to be more valuable than a larger portion of ETH over the long haul, because ETH, there's no finite limited supply, it's not decentralized, and it's not in the same category as Bitcoin. Bitcoin is on its own vector in a class of its own. So personally, I think it's wiser to purchase a portion of Bitcoin. For example, if I hypothetically had, let's hypothetically say $1,600 to my name today and I didn't have any crypto, I'd rather put $1,600 into Bitcoin and own a piece of it than to purchase an entire Ethereum. Why is that? Because it makes no difference investment-wise if you own a whole Ethereum or a piece of it. It's irrelevant. We get stuck in the thing like, oh, it costs X amount of money, so therefore I can afford it. I can only afford the ish coins. But that's not the actual reality. That's what the average pleb thinks, but it's not true. So I think it's a myth. I think you're better off holding the greatest, most perfect form of money and only a fraction of it versus holding, say, 10,000 Shiba Inu, even though it's a fraction of a penny or whatever the hell it's trading at. That's just my 2 Satoshis though, fam. Let me know what you guys think and I'll read your comments out loud. Smash, thank you. Also take into account there are another 10 other ETFs as well. Exactly. There's like a dozen just waiting on the sidelines to be approved right now. No, JV, the bull run starting end of 2024. I believe the bull run started beginning of this year. Again, you got to keep in mind, fourth quarter of last year, we hit like 15,700. We're up a lot from that bottom, roughly 10,000 even after the crash. I think we succeeded and hit roughly 32,000 as the high thus far this year. But I think the bull run already started. It starts, mathematics and history shows us that it starts a long ways before, the Bitcoin halving. I don't know the exact days because I'm not looking at the charts, but I believe that the bull run has started and the bull run will continue. We will continue to experience massive amounts of volatility, which is to be expected. But after the halving gets priced in, game on. Very limited supply, incoming supply shock, and it's just going to create mayhem. Everyone's going to want a piece of the pie, especially when Bitcoin recaptures the current all-time high. Just like we saw when Bitcoin surpassed the previous all-time high of 20,000, how long did it take to hit 69,000? Not long, fam. It was like a few months because we're in price discovery mode. And once we re-enter that price discovery mode, that's when the FOMO, like a mofo, kicks in. And your own mother will be calling you, should I get my Bitcoin now? I don't want to sit on the sidelines too long. That's how you know, fam. And it's only a matter of time. ETF approval will start. Yeah, we'll soon see. JV, number 1400 show. Good stuff. Thank you, fam. I put the top anywhere between 100 to 200,000. I'll take it. Saw George Carlin twice. I am blessed. Oh, what a blessing. I missed George Carlin before he passed. He was doing a tour. My friend Scotty got to go see him, and I regret it. I'm glad you got to see him, fam. How long ago was it? And I'm also going to throw out there, my father and I grew up watching George Carlin. George Carlin was always his favorite comedian and also one of my favorite comedians. Him and Chappelle, all-time greats, my favorite personally. I know every George Carlin performance. My father had all of his albums. He's one of the greats. So rest in peace, George Carlin. We miss you. We need you. Cat Williams and Dave Chappelle are the best for keeping it real, just like yourself, JV. Real recognized real. Thank you, fam. Swing trading well without being left behind is incredibly difficult. Better to DCA in, never sell. And whenever Bitcoin drops over 70%, begin loading the freaking boat. Stock market will utter the ish. So Bitcoin is where the investors will want to make their capital in 2024 and 2025. JV. What up, maniacs and 100,000 Bitcoin shuffle? Love it. Send it. Let's go viral, baby. All good here. Word up, Suffolk County. Shout out to y'all. Good, thanks. Still learning. Good to note. I remember gas was 55 cents a gallon. Good Lord. Way before my time. I can't recall that. I want to believe in this Bitcoin thing, but I can't help but feel like I am joining a cult. Well, think about it this way. Is it a cult you want to join? You know what I mean? You got to consent. Do you resonate with the people in this Bitcoin cult? Or do you not resonate? Do you resonate more with the people in the Ishcoin cult? Maybe more with people in the Ponzi fiat dollar cult? Which cult do you choose to join, right? And we can call it a cult because it brainwashes your mind. But the question becomes, do you need a brainwashing from the Ponzi scheme corruption you have been, suscepted from the school system, from the mainstream media, from the politicians, from the central bankers? Do you want a brainwashing to join the Bitcoin cult? It's up to you. No one's going to force you to do it. I love being here. I think this is the place to be. I think inside our Discord server is the place to be. Connect with fellow crazy people just like us who are crazy enough to believe that Bitcoin will take over and that we will always have the free will to choose between CBDCs and BTC. I personally choose the latter because I choose freedom. So what do you choose? Enslavement or freedom? It's up to you, fam. That's a great question, by the way. That's real talk. You know what I mean? It's up to you how you perceive it. I do also perceive Bitcoin as a cult, but I believe it's a positive cult with like-minded individuals that believe in perfect money. They believe in incorruptible money. They believe in unconfiscatable money. And I share this belief system with everyone watching. I can ultimately say and speak on everyone's behalf that we all agree that US dollars are not in the best interest of the population and the United States of America and its citizens. Can we all agree there that the United States dollar is not in the best interest to continue using their Ponzi scheme money they can print out of thin air? Who's paying for the inflation? You, with $10 a gallon for gasoline. You know what I mean? It's a crime. Literally, Bitcoin is the opposite of the Ponzi scheme. The Ponzi scheme is the US dollar. They can print unlimited amounts at will, right? Do you want, they can trick you. Here's how they manipulate you, as they did in the previous years. Oh, you want a free $1,500 in the form of a stimulus? Do we have your permission to print $10 trillion so that everyone in the US can get $1,500? And then they do that. And that money that is actually paid out to the people is like 0.25% of all the money they steal. And then we have to make up for it through hyperinflation and the collapse of the US dollar, higher interest rates, and everything, making it more difficult to survive, let alone thrive in the United States. That's the reality. So can we all agree that the US dollar is not in everyone's best interest? What's the alternative? Bitcoin. Show me a better alternative and I'll provide you a better cult. And let's leave it at that. Yeah, I mean, just being real. Hello from Space Coast of Florida. Shout out to Brother T. What's good? Take the orange pill. You already know. What up? Bring facts. Maximus, preach. Would Maximus share? Fiat is a cult, the ultimate cult. It's the Ponzi cult. I don't like the Ponzi cult. I don't like being involved in the Ponzi scheme or the central banking Ponzi schemes. I unplug from the matrix with Bitcoin. Bitcoin is the escape valve. It's the alternative, right? It's the antidote to all the chaos in this world, and I'm sticking to it. Anyways, fam, now for a recap, what I cover with you here in today's show. I broke down the latest technical analysis as the Bitcoin price reacts to the 3.7% CPI, seeing inflation jump beyond forecasts. I also shared breaking news. U.S. Congressman Tom Emmer says that a CBDC is a surveillance tool that will be weaponized to oppress the American way of life. That's right. We know CBDC is slavery. We know Bitcoin is freedom, so preach. We also discussed the latest with Coinbase, the largest exchange in the United States. Their founder, Brian Armstrong, reveals a plan to finally integrate the Lightning Network. Let's go. We also discussed the latest with Gemini Earn users, which can recover all of their funds in the new DCG remunerization scheme. We also discussed the one and only SEC Chairman Gary Gensler confirming the SEC's use of AI for financial surveillance. That's right. They're using artificial intelligence against you. Just saying. We also discussed Bitcoin bull market is well intact despite the recent correction, according to Dave the Wave, who called the May 2021 crypto crash. We also discussed Bitcoin payments app Strike expanding to more than 65 countries from just 3, including taken over in Mexico. We also discussed Jack Mallers' 7-figure Bitcoin price prediction. But where do you feel the Bitcoin price is likely to go next? Let me know in the comments below. And don't forget to smash that like. It helps out tremendously with the YouTube algorithm. And if you're not subscribed to the channel, you know what to do. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Pieces. Or I should say deuces.